Ladies and gentlemen, hi. I am Dr. Tiffany M. Lloyd, but you can call me Dr. Tiff. I am the host of Jesus and Justice with Dr. Tiff. My show unpacks societal issues aligning with the teachings of Jesus Christ. In the words of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And remember, yes, I'm advocating for you. I'm speaking for you, and I'm fighting with you. Jesus and Justice with Dr. Tiff. Ladies and gentlemen, hi, and welcome to Tiff Talk Thursdays. Thank you so much for carving out time on this Thursday evening to hang out with your girl. If you are watching me on the V Network TV, hello to you. If you're watching me on Facebook Live, hello. Make sure that you follow me at Dr. Tiffany M. Lloyd and like and share if you don't mind. And if you're watching me on YouTube, hello YouTubers, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Jesus and Justice with Dr. Tiff. And make sure that you follow me on Instagram at tiffany.m.lloyd. You already know what we're about to do. That's right, we're about to have a word of prayer. God, thank you so much for Tiff Talk Thursdays. Thank you for every person that is under the sound of my voice. Now, Father, I ask you that you use me in a mighty way. I take self out of the way because it is not about me, but it is all about you. I ask you, Father, that you anoint every word that is said, and let it be a blessing in your sight. Let it be a blessing to your people, and let it bring someone closer to you. We ask these blessings in your Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, what time is it? That's right. It is Tiff Talk time. Have you ever heard of the expression, a dog who brings a bone will take a bone? Right? I'm sure at some point in our lives, we've all heard that expression. And what I get from that is, he who gossips to you will gossip about you. Beware of the people that every time they contact you, every time you have a conversation with them, it is always about foolishness, mess, trivial things, what someone said about you. And you know, people that come to me and say, well, somebody said, I stop them dead in their tracks and I say, who is somebody? If you can't tell me who they are, I don't want to hear it. And then I always question people that is always coming back and telling me what someone else says, because first of all, what is your motive? What is your purpose? And then I raise the question, why do people feel so comfortable talking about me to you in the first place? And then third, I raise the question, what are you saying in my defense? Because what I have learned is that people will come back and tell you what everybody else said, but they'll never tell you what they said. Beware of those individuals that every time they contact you, it's always about messy stuff. It's always about drama. It is always about he said, she said, what somebody say. That is low vibration to me. And I don't know about you, but I am too grown of a woman to be partaking in any type of friendships where you are always telling me something about what somebody said. I don't care. Because if it's not serving me, if it's not benefiting me, if it's not uplifting me, I don't want any parts of it. Sometimes some things are just better left unsaid. And sometimes I question those people because they are always quick to tell you, well, I heard what somebody say. And sometimes it could be that didn't nobody say it. It was them. They're just too coward enough to say how they really feel about you. So I will say to you to learn how to separate yourself from people that is always talking about drama. He said, she said, mess, things that are not serving your life, things that are not uplifting you, things that are not helping you toward your goal. Listen, in this stage of my life, I'm about service. I'm about serving God. I'm about serving people. I'm about uplifting people. I'm about building generational wealth. I'm about us breaking generational curses. If you ain't on that, I'm all on positivity. If you're not on that, keep it moving, because I don't want any part of it. Because at some point in our life, we should not take gratification in gossiping and talking about somebody else. We should not take gratification. See, I always say this. It's easy to talk about people when it's not us that's going through it. But when the tables turn, look out. I just told someone I'm very careful about passing judgment on people, because at the end of the day, we don't know when it could be our turn. And I will say this, if you are a person that says, I hate mess, then you got to ask yourself why everybody in your circle is messy. If you are a person that say, I hate drama, then why do you live a drama-filled life? If you are a person that don't like gossip, why every conversation that you have is talking about somebody's business that is not pertaining to you? It is giving low vibration. It's giving that you don't have a lot going on in your life. It's giving that you're a hater. It's giving that you're a messy person. It's giving that you're so unhappy and insecure with yourself. And so instead of you focusing on your own life, it's easy for you to gossip and talk about somebody else's life, and it don't have nothing to do with you. So I would say to all of you out there, check the temperature of your friendship circle. Check the temperature of people. Watch the people that every time you have a conversation, the conversation is, well, I heard, well, you didn't hear it from me. Well, I ain't trying to be messy. Because 9 times out of 10, when a person starts off saying, I ain't trying to be messy, they being messy. Anytime somebody starts off, well, you ain't hear this from me, or I heard, you already know some drama, some foolishness is going to come along with that. There are some people where when I have a conversation with them, there was this one person in particular that every time that I had a conversation with this woman, it was always her telling me what somebody said about me. And you know what she would do after she would tell me? She would start laughing. And the last time that she did that, I got quiet for a minute and I asked her, I said, well, who said that? And her response was, I don't remember. And I said, yeah, you do. Because if you could remember word for word, line for line, what that person said, then you can clearly remember who said it. And I told her, I see a pattern with you, that every time we talk, we could be having an uplifting conversation. You always end with telling me what someone said. And every time she would tell me what someone said, it would always be an insult to me. It would always be an attack on how I look, or how I dress, or how I speak, or my profession, or this or that about me. It was always a critique. It was never anything uplifting. But the fact that she would always laugh, that told me a lot right there. And this was a woman that is a professional woman, if you will, that people look up to this person. But then I noticed that every time she would talk to me, it was never to encourage me. It was never to give me an encouraging word. And never did I ever hear her say what she said to defend me. It was always, girl, you know how crazy people are. And girl, they said this and they said that. They said that. And I said, the fact that you find it comical for something that could potentially hurt me says a lot. And I told her, I noticed that every time I talk to you, I leave the conversation feeling weighed down and it's heavy because I'm a positive person. When I get the vibe from you that you messy, that you two-faced it, that you ain't no good, that you don't have my best interest at heart, I keep it moving. I don't invite anybody in my space that is just clearly taking up space. I don't invite anybody in my space that is not uplifting me. Because one thing that Tiffany Lloyd is going to always do, I'm going to always give you an encouraging word. I'm going to always be your cheerleader. I'm going to always give you some positive words. I'm going to always deposit something meaningful into your life. And if you ain't on that, then you ain't my people. You are not for me. And you got to ask yourself, Who in your life is depositing meaningful, powerful, encouraging things in your life that will help you? And who in your life is robbing you of your joy and of your peace? Who in your life that every time you talk to them, every time you are around them, they telling you what somebody say? Because see, if you my friend, at what point are you going to defend me? At what point are you going to say, you know what, I ain't got to tell her this, but I already handled it? Because there are some people that people have talked about in my presence and I shut it down. And I didn't go run and tell them because everything don't need to be repeated. Just because you know it don't mean that you need to repeat it. And we got to also watch this thing where people say, well, I just keep it real. Because sometimes people use that, I'm just keeping it real, as an excuse to be hurtful to people. Because your tongue can hurt. The Bible talks about people that gossip, that tear up friendships. You got to learn when to keep your mouth shut. And you got to learn that just because it's on your mind, you don't have to say everything that's on your mind. And just because you heard something, you ain't got to repeat everything that you heard. Some things is just better left unsaid. And so I question you if you say, I hate drama, but sometimes you are the drama. You say you hate mess, but you are the messy person. You say you don't like liars, but you are the person that tends to do all the lying. So sometimes we have to look at ourselves in the mirror and talk about what we don't like is really ourselves. Because I've heard a lot of people say, I hate mess, and they're so messy. I've heard someone say this, I hate attention, but don't let them call that person name. Don't let them not give that person recognition and see how they act a fool. Sometimes people are talking about they don't even like themselves. So I encourage you, if you got some messy people in your life, some toxic people in your life that's always coming, because I hate to tell you this, these are people that are trying to hurt you. These are people that want you to second guess yourself. These are people that want you to walk with your head hung down. These are people that ain't your people. These are people that ain't your friends. These are people that don't mean you no good. Because see, my real friends, they ain't coming to me with that. My real friends, they may tell me some things that I may need to be aware of, but I can guarantee you, it ain't no everyday conversation. Very seldom are those conversations. And I'm telling you, my real friends, and I know who are my real friends, they tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. My real friends will check people in my presence and in my absence, and they ain't got to come back and tell me. That's what a real friend does. So you got to ask yourself the question, who in your life is real and who in your life is just full of drama? And if you are a person that lives by this mantra that you don't like mess, then stop being messy. You say you don't like gossip, stop gossiping about people. Stop talking about people. Stop hating on people. Because I have learned, and I have learned this, that you reap what you sow. And I also learned that you got to stop being so quick to talk about people, to laugh at people, to gossip about people, to talk about people issues. Because one thing about them tables is that they always turn. So if it's not fulfilling you, if it's not giving you any substance, if it's not uplifting you, keep it moving with the conversations. I'm going to say this as I close. Something went viral not too long ago, and it was someone that people were talking about in the ministry. And I noticed that some of the biggest critics of this person and the people that was making fun of this person were people in ministry. And I want you to know that people are watching you. How you gonna say that you are a Christian, a man and woman of God? You could be a man and woman of God and not be a pastor, not be a preacher. I hope that everybody that is watching this, you are a man and woman of God. But the moment that you say that you are a man and woman of God, people automatically look at you through a different lens. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm telling you what it is. And then I said, wait a minute. These are people that are supposed to be men and women of God that are making fun of another person, of a mistake that they made, the hypocrisy at its best. And then it was some people that I saw in the comments section, the language that they use, how they were making fun of this person, how they was talking about this person. They were talking about the person's appearance and what they had on. And I never thought in a million years that some of these people that are supposed to be professional, so holier than thou, if you will, would ever go on a social media platform and bash someone. And you know what? It made me not look at those people the same. Because you know what I said? If they did it to them, they'll do it to me. And that's another thing. As I close, you got to watch. I observe how people treat other people, not just how you treat me. If I see you talking about your best friend and somebody that you close with and y'all supposed to be so close, I already know I'm not going to trust you. Because I know if you do it to them, you're going to do it to me. Any man or any woman that go outside and bash their husband or their wife in the street, I know that you could never be trusted. Any person that go out and just bash and trash their family, I know you ain't never to be trusted. Anybody that goes out and bash and trash their friend, you hang with them, you kick it with them. But then when you get around another group of friends, you talking about them, I would never trust you. Y'all better start observing how other people treat people. And stop just worrying about, well, they don't do it to me. What makes you think you so special that they won't do it to you? Because they will. You ain't so special that it ain't going to happen to you. You ain't exempt from it. So just be mindful. Protect your peace. And remember that a dog who brings a bone is a dog that will take a bone. Well, my brothers and sisters, I hope that this Tiff Talk Thursday has blessed your heart. If you would like to sow a seed to Jesus and Justice with Dr. Tiff, please do so. $ Jesus and Justice, all one word, only if the Lord puts it on your heart. Make sure that you join me every Tuesday at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time for Jesus and Justice with Dr. Tiff Prayer Call. Right back here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for Tiff Talk Thursdays. And every Saturday on the V Network TV for Jesus and Justice with Dr. Tiff. Follow me on Facebook at Dr. Tiffany M. Lloyd, Instagram, tiffany.m.lloyd, and YouTube at Jesus and Justice with Dr. Tiff. May God bless you. It's my prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, hi. I am Dr. Tiffany M. Lloyd, but you can call me Dr. Tiff. I am the host of Jesus and Justice with Dr. Tiff. My show unpacks societal issues aligning with the teachings of Jesus Christ. In the words of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Follow me on Facebook at Dr. Tiffany M. Lloyd, Instagram at tiffany.m.lloyd, and YouTube at Jesus and Justice with Dr. Tiff. And remember, yes, I'm advocating for you. I'm speaking for you, and I'm fighting with you. Join me every Saturday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on the V Network TV. Jesus and Justice with Dr. Tiff.